came halfway over to help. Oh, he got caught halfway between. Lead ahead by 6, they were down by 12. Wiggins spinning and scoring.
Steph thought about that from the hash mark.
Once standing on the brink of giving up basketball due to poverty, now he's an NBA champion. Andrew Wiggins grew up in a family where 6 siblings had to fight for every meal. The financial burden crushed the NBA dream of that young boy, but Wiggins refused to surrender. He fought, rising to become a key piece in helping the Golden State Warriors reach the pinnacle of glory. From a life of deprivation, Wiggins now enjoys luxury in California, riding an expensive bike worth hundreds of thousands of USD and owning a collection of rare fountain pens. At the height of his career, Andrew Wiggins was dragged down by a series of scandals that shocked public opinion, refusing the vaccine for religious reasons. His stubbornness severely damaged his image and reputation. Fans turned their backs, and the team issued heavy penalties. But the storms didn't break Wiggins. He rose above it all, regained his peak form, continued earning money, and led the Miami Heat toward the goal of conquering the NBA. How did Wiggins, from a boy with nothing in his hands, manage to build a solid financial empire like he has now and continue to strengthen it for the future? Let's dive into the life of the Miami Heat star, Andrew Wiggins. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss out on other exciting content.
They brought me along, and now we're in together, and thank you.
The rim-shattering dunk at the community center. Andrew Wiggins wasn't always the shining star we know today. Before he set foot in the NBA, his life was a story full of sweat, tears, and big dreams that began in a small corner of Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. Born on February 23, 1995, he grew up in a sports-obsessed family where basketball wasn't just a game, but the breath of the household. His father, Mitchell Wiggins, was a former NBA player, and his mother, Marita Payne Wiggins, was an Olympic track athlete who won silver medals for Canada. But don't think Andrew's path was paved with roses just because sports ran in his blood. No, his childhood was a quiet battle to overcome pressure and find himself. When Andrew was 9, he started playing organized basketball in Toronto. At an age when many kids were still caught up with toys, Andrew was already 5 feet 7 inches tall, a standout height, but also a burden. Have you ever felt so different that you got too much attention? Andrew understood that. He recalled in an interview with the Canadian Encyclopedia that those early days on the court weren't easy. The crowd saw him as an expectation, a prodigy destined for success, but inside him was a fear of failure. He once shared, "I just wanted to play ball, but people looked at me like I had to be great from the start." The pressure from family, from the community, weighed heavily on that boy's shoulders. Then, at 13, a moment changed everything. Andrew executed his first dunk in life, a turning point he'd never forget. But right after, at 14, he accidentally shattered a glass backboard at the Dufferin Clark Community Center in Vaughan with a powerful dunk. The 6'6" kid back then didn't just shock his friends, but also asked himself, "Can I really do this?" It was joy mixed with worry, the joy of newfound strength and the worry of growing expectations. Andrew's school journey was full of challenges, too. He started at Vaughan Secondary School, where he led the team to a provincial championship with a 44-1 record in his sophomore year. But he knew if he wanted to go far, he had to leave his comfort zone. The decision to move to the U.S., attending Huntington Prep in West Virginia, was a bold step. Imagine leaving your family, friends, everything familiar at 16 to chase a dream. Would you dare? Andrew did. There, he faced fierce competition, loneliness, and days wondering if he was strong enough to keep going. But those hardships forged Andrew. He didn't just play ball, he lived for it. Every shot, every sprint was how he overcame fear, the shadow of his parents, and the doubts in his heart. By the time he stepped into the University of Kansas in 2013, Andrew was ready to show the world who he was. He was no longer the shy kid from Thornhill, but a warrior ready to conquer the NBA. With talent already displayed at youth levels, it's no surprise Andrew Wiggins was one of the bright gems many teams had their eyes on. But his path to conquering the NBA wasn't easy. Not just facing a barrage of criticism about his competitive spirit, but the pain of losing loved ones also made him struggle greatly with his career. A faltering career, lost direction due to family pain. Andrew Wiggins entered the NBA with the world's eyes on him. Picked as the number one choice in the 2014 NBA draft by the Cleveland Cavaliers, then quickly traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves, he carried enormous expectations. A new LeBron, someone who'd change basketball. But his career didn't start like a fairy tale. It was a journey of stumbles, doubts, and ultimately an emotional rise that anyone who's faced pressure can deeply relate to. In Minnesota, Wiggins started with impressive numbers. In his 2014-15 rookie season, he averaged 16.9 points per game and won Rookie of the Year. But behind those smooth shots was a simmering frustration. The team kept losing, and he was criticized for lacking fire, lacking leadership. In a 2017 ESPN interview, he once said, "I felt like I couldn't do anything right. People wanted me to be someone else, not myself." Those words cut like a knife. Who hasn't felt misunderstood, forced to become a version others expect? Things hit rock bottom when Wiggins faced a personal tragedy. In 2019, his grandfather passed away, and he nearly lost his way. In a game against the Denver Nuggets that November, he scored just 7 points, one of his worst performances. But in that darkness, Wiggins found light. He started focusing more, playing for the pure joy of basketball, not outside pressure. Then came the big turning point. In February 2020, Wiggins was traded to the Golden State Warriors. Here, he wasn't the main star, but a piece in Steve Kerr's system. At first, he struggled to adapt. In the 2020-21 season, he averaged 18.6 points. But doubts lingered about his ability to shine in clutch moments. Yet, Wiggins didn't fall. He quietly refined every aspect. Tighter defense, smarter positioning. The days grinding in the gym, the hours reviewing game tape, all slowly bore fruit. The 2021-22 season proved that progress. Wiggins was selected to his first All-Star team, a milestone he once thought was out of reach. But the real peak came in that year's NBA Finals. Facing the Boston Celtics, he didn't just average 18.3 points per game, but locked down Jason Tatum, the opponent's top star. In Game 4, when he scored 17 points and grabbed 16 rebounds, people saw a different Wiggins, fierce, unrelenting. When the championship trophy was lifted on June 16, 2022, tears rolled down his face. It wasn't just a team's victory, but a statement from a man once doubted, once pushed to the sidelines. Looking back on the journey from a boy with an NBA dream to a successful man, Wiggins didn't just play ball. He built a lasting foundation for the future. With over $10 million in real estate, from a lakeside Minnesota mansion to a luxurious Bay Area estate, a supercar collection of Ferraris and Porsches worth $500,000, and tens of millions from big contracts, Wiggins turned his sweat into pure gold. Real estate investments yielding tens of millions in profit. In August 2014, Andrew Wiggins signed his rookie contract worth $11.3 million with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just a few months later, as the first cold winds of a Minneapolis winter rolled in, he decided to lay the foundation for his future by buying his first home on the shores of Cedar Lake. It was a 6,330-square-foot mansion in the peaceful Cedar Isles Dean area with 5 bedrooms and large glass windows overlooking the calm water. In his early days with the Timberwolves, Wiggins faced pressure and skepticism. But every time he returned home after grueling practices, he found stillness in this place. At night, he'd often stand on the balcony, letting the lake breeze run through his hair, listening to the gentle waves lapping the shore. That's when he reminded himself everything was just beginning. 5 years later, when a bigger Timberwolves contract came, he sold this house for $1.8 million, pocketing a $200,000 profit, a small but promising start to his financial savvy. In 2018, Wiggins didn't just prove himself on the court, but elevated his lifestyle. He bought a luxurious $3.18 million mansion in Minnesota, over 11,348 square feet, designed by one of the top interior experts. The house had a yoga room, a private studio, and an indoor basketball court, where he spent hours training, sweating to prove his worth. Late nights, he'd sit at the gleaming breakfast table, looking out over the vast space, thinking about the days of doubt, the pressure-packed shots, and the journey he'd been through. That same year, Wiggins kept investing in real estate with a $560,900 downtown Minneapolis condo and a $1.8 million lakeside home in Chaska, Minnesota. The Chaska house was where he retreated when he needed peace, where nature and the wind through the trees helped him forget the pressures of a top athlete. In 2020, when he joined the Golden State Warriors, Wiggins found a new nest. He spent $4.5 million on a mansion in a gated Bay Area community. The modern, spacious home offered enough privacy for him to focus on himself without scrutiny. After winning the 2022 NBA championship, he stood on the mansion's balcony, eyes on the California night sky, feeling deeply the value of every brick he'd built with sweat and resolve. Now, his total real estate value exceeds $10 million, each home a milestone on his journey from frigid Minneapolis to sunlit California. Wiggins doesn't just dominate the court, he knows how to enjoy his success. In his garage sit speed machines worth over $500,000. Most striking is the Ferrari 458. A $250,000 supercar with matte black paint and golden wheel rims. It's not just transportation, but a declaration of his journey from a doubted young man to an NBA champion. Every time he hits the gas on Bay Area roads, the Ferrari's roar is like a victory anthem, reminding him of the tough days in Minnesota. He also owns a Porsche and an Audi, each worth over $100,000, rewards for years of relentless effort to reclaim his form. Once he considered adding a Range Rover, an icon of luxury and power, with a starting price of $90,000. For Wiggins, cars aren't just vehicles, they're proof of the path he's crossed, from driving on snow-covered Minneapolis roads to sun-drenched California highways. Unlike many athletes who only spend, Wiggins knows assets need to grow. He invested in Sunday, a San Francisco-based online real estate platform, alongside big names like Klay Thompson, Kelly Olynyk, and Alex Caruso. When Sunday raised $80 million in its Series C funding round, Wiggins knew he'd bet on a sustainable future. Plus, he earns an extra $600,000 yearly from endorsement deals with Fitbit, BioSteel, and Peak. The Peak deal was especially key, marking his turnaround after leaving Adidas in 2020. It didn't just bring income, but helped Wiggins reshape his personal brand. Still, most of his wealth comes from the NBA. By 2025, he's amassed over $140 million in salary. His 4-year rookie deal from 2014 to 2018 netted him $24 million. In 2017, the Timberwolves gave him a 5-year, $148 million contract, peaking at $33.6 million in the 2022-23 season. Joining the Warriors, he signed a 4-year, $109 million deal in 2022, earning $24.3 million in 2023-24 and $26.3 million in 2024-2025. If he triggers his player option for 2026 to 2027, he'll pocket another $30.1 million, a figure big enough for a lavish yet financially secure life. Andrew Wiggins doesn't just build wealth, he enjoys life in a unique, high-class way. With a passion for bikes worth tens of thousands of dollars, an exquisite fountain pen collection, and fishing trips on a private boat, he shows off luxurious hobbies that make anyone marvel at the lifestyle of an NBA champion. Passion for expensive bikes. One of Wiggins' lesser-known hobbies is his passion for high-end bikes, not for racing, but for relaxing in a star's style. In a Players Tribune piece, he mentioned loving to bike around the San Francisco Bay Area, where he's lived since joining the Golden State Warriors. He doesn't pick ordinary bikes, but carbon ones from brands like Pinarello, costing tens of thousands of dollars. Picture him gliding along coastal roads, wind brushing through his hair, the sleek frame gleaming under golden sun. A hobby both healthy and dripping with luxury, like how he reminds himself he's broken free from struggling days to soar freely. Wiggins also finds joy in collecting luxury fountain pens. In an athletic interview, he said he was gifted a Mont Blanc after the 2022 NBA title, sparking his fascination with pens costing hundreds to thousands of dollars. You can imagine him at a mahogany desk holding an intricately engraved pen, ink flowing smoothly on paper, a small but powerful act, as if he's rewriting his life story from a poor kid to a peak conqueror. For Wiggins, each pen isn't just a tool, it's a symbol of the refinement he can now touch. Finally, he loves spending time fishing in unique spots. In a short NBA interview, Wiggins recalled fishing in freshwater near Minnesota while with the Timberwolves. Now, with a star's wallet, he's upgraded the experience, renting private boats and casting lines in calm California lakes. Picture him on the deck, rod in hand, water shimmering under sunset, a costly quiet moment where he finds balance after noisy games. It's not just fishing, it's how he uses money to buy rare moments amid a rushed life. These are the hobbies and interests of Andrew Wiggins we've gathered from various sources. If you want more intriguing details about his behind-the-scenes life, we encourage you to explore other sources for the most accurate info. Beyond money and fame, Wiggins' image has also been clouded by off-court controversies. From the nickname NBA's biggest mystery for his often lackluster attitude on the court, to the shocking 2021 vaccine refusal. And that's not all the earth-shaking scandals he's had in his career. Refusing the vaccine for religious reasons. It all started at the Minnesota Timberwolves, where Wiggins was labeled low effort. Despite averaging 19.7 points per game in the 2016-17 season, he was criticized for inconsistent play and a nonchalant attitude on the court. Timberwolves fans once hoped he'd be the next LeBron after being the #1 pick. One pick in the 2014 NBA draft, but instead they saw a player who seemed not to care about winning. A 2018 ESPN article dubbed him the NBA's biggest mystery. Talent aplenty, but no fighting heart. Games where he ambled on the court, eyes blank, left fans wondering, does he even want to be here? Then came the biggest drama, the 2021 vaccine refusal. When the Warriors mandated compliance with San Francisco's rules, Wiggins publicly objected, citing religious reasons for an exemption. The league denied it, and he eventually got vaccinated, but not before stirring a firestorm. In an NBC Sports interview, he said, "I felt forced. It's not what I wanted." Fans split into two camps, one defending his personal freedom, the other furious he put himself above the team. On Twitter, the hashtag #WigginsOut trended, with comments like, "He doesn't deserve that ring." The incident left a lasting stain, making many see him as selfish rather than heroic. That wasn't all. The mysterious 2022-23 absence added fuel to the fire. Wiggins missed the last 25 games of the regular season for family reasons, but the Warriors gave no details. Rumors swirled online, from health issues to serious personal matters. An athletic piece suggested he left to care for a loved one, but Wiggins' silence only deepened fans' confusion. When he returned for the playoffs, he played well, averaging 16.7 points per game, but trust had wavered. People whispered, if he really cared, why not explain? The lack of transparency made his public image blurrier, more distant. Most recently, his 2025 trade to the Miami Heat reignited debate. The Warriors sent him off for Jimmy Butler, and reactions from ex-teammates like Buddy Hield, who told NBC Sports Bay Area he was traded instead of Wiggins, raised questions about locker room ties. Warriors fans grieved, feeling they'd lost a pillar of the 2022 title, while Heat fans wondered if he had the fire to replace Butler. Brushing aside the career-shaking dramas, Andrew Wiggins finds peace with Michael Johnson and their two little daughters. A quiet love of over 11 years. They've weathered storms together, and he's become a devoted dad, fully committed to his family. Marriage rocked by infidelity rumors. Wiggins met Michael Johnson in 2013 when he was a Kansas student and she played basketball for Notre Dame. Two young souls, both passionate about sports, found each other amid busy days. They don't flaunt loudly, no lavish wedding pics or grand declarations. Instead, they quietly built a family with two daughters, Amya, born October 11th, 2018, and Alaya, born April 12th, 2021. Rare Instagram posts from Michael, like the family celebrating the Warriors' 2022 title at Chase Center, show Wiggins isn't just a player, but a dedicated dad and partner. But Wiggins' private life hasn't always been calm. In 2023, rumors spread that Michael cheated with his best friend, even hinting the kids weren't his. Michael fired back on Twitter, "The internet is a sick place. That's completely untrue." Wiggins stayed silent, but his long absence from the Warriors that year, 25 games for family reasons, left fans aching. He returned for the playoffs, eyes heavy but still scoring 16.7 points per game, as if using the court to soothe unseen wounds. Who hasn't faced vicious whispers, moments you want to collapse but have to stand? Though not officially married, Wiggins and Michael have been together over 11 years by 2025, a bond stronger than any certificate. He once said in a short 2022 GQ interview, "Family is everything. They're where I go back to after it all." Moments of him holding Amya's hand courtside, or Michael proudly posting him in a Warriors jersey, show a connection needing no fancy words. Their life in Minneapolis, in a lakeside mansion sold for $1.83 million in 2019, is where Wiggins finds stillness amid the NBA storm. From the quiet nest with Michael and the kids, Andrew Wiggins reaches further to touch other lives. With hundreds of thousands of dollars donated from his points, scored, and hands-on coaching in the Bay Area, he turns court sweat into hope for hundreds of kids born into poverty. Spending millions on children's support centers, Andrew Wiggins began his charity journey with the Minnesota Timberwolves. In 2018, he publicly pledged on Twitter to donate $22 for every point he scored that season to help struggling kids play sports. With 1,321 points in the 2018-19 season, he gave a total of $29,062, split among Canadian Tire Jumpstart, Boys and Girls Club of the Twin Cities, and the Gorgui Dieng Foundation. That money wasn't just numbers. It brought shoes, balls, and chances to kids once stuck on the sidelines, their eyes lighting up as they ran like their peers. The next season, 2019-20, Wiggins kept that promise. With 1,175 points in 54 games, he raised $25,850 for the same groups. Every bucket he sank on the court opened a door for a kid without means, letting them hold a ball instead of just peering through a fence. He didn't say much, but his actions echoed through each figure. When he moved to the Golden State Warriors in 2020, Wiggins kept up that spirit, though not publicizing every detail. He joined Bay Area community events, standing among kids, ball in hand, guiding their moves with a rare on-court smile. Steve Kerr told SICOM in 2025, Wiggs is always there when the kids need him. After the 2022 NBA title, he showed up at a local basketball camp, handing out balls and shoes to wide-eyed kids, their hands trembling as they touched gifts from their idol. Wiggins also teamed up with Adidas in 2016, returning to Dufferin Clark Community Center in Vaughan, Canada, during All-Star Weekend. He welcomed hundreds of kids, cutting the ribbon on an upgraded community center where Adidas supplied shoes, uniforms, and gear for youth basketball leagues. Standing in the crowd, he looked at eager faces, recalling himself as a 9-year-old in worn-out sneakers. The money he's earned from NBA contracts, over $140 million by 2025, isn't just for living large, but for building playgrounds like that. From quiet contributions to kids, Andrew Wiggins now shines with the Miami Heat in 2025. After leaving the Warriors, he's brought new fire to South Beach, determined to get the team into the playoffs, a blazing Wiggins proving he's still a force to fear. New leader of the Miami Heat, Andrew Wiggins is living emotional days in the Miami Heat's colors in 2025, where he's not just a player, but a man rediscovering himself after years of turbulence. In February 2025, he was traded by the Golden State Warriors in a 5-team deal, leaving the place he won the 2022 NBA title to join South Beach. Now, at 30, Wiggins enters the season with a burning fire in his heart, as if every game is a chance to prove he's still a star, not someone to be forgotten. Right now, Wiggins is the Heat's offensive spearhead. On March 23, 2025, he dropped 42 points against the Charlotte Hornets, ending the team's 10-game losing streak. That night, he stood on the court, sweat streaming, eyes blazing. The Andrew Wiggins fans once adored with the Warriors was back. He's averaging 21.1 points per game in 8 post-All-Star break games, with 4.6 rebounds and 2.9 assists. But not everyone's thrilled. Some Warriors fans still ache seeing him in another jersey, while Heat fans question if he can replace Jimmy Butler. Wiggins doesn't talk much, just quietly answers with precise shots, like he did in the 2022 finals. Looking ahead, Wiggins has big goals for the rest of 2025. He wants to take the Heat to the playoffs. No small feat with the team at 7th in the East, with a 29-32 record. His 4-year, $109 million contract running through 2027 with a $30.1 million player option is pressure, but also fuel. He shared in 2022 about his desire to be an all-star again, and now, in Miami, he sees that chance clearer than ever. Early mornings in the gym, hours reviewing tape. Wiggins is pouring everything in to not just survive, but shine. Finally, we're not responsible for any interpretation or application of this video's content. Viewers should judge, verify info, and take it selectively. Thanks everyone for taking time to watch this video about Andrew Wiggins' journey, from tough early days to what he's doing today. I know not everyone has time to sit and hear stories like this, so your support is a huge motivator for me to keep bringing quality content. If you found this video great, please hit the like button. Just one click, but it lets me know what you're into. Don't forget to share this with friends, family, or any basketball lovers, so they can discover Wiggins' cool story too. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that red button now. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the next videos. We've got lots more to explore together. Thanks, and see you in the next one.